Testing. That. Give it a minute to go. Okay. How'd this band come about, anyway?
Well, this lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was like, about 6 months ago I got a phone call from Jim saying did I want to come and play bass with him because he was doing a European tour, which was like in the summer.
From Jim?
Yeah, well, Iggy.
Oh.
Right. And, I never really met him before. I met him once at a Rich Kids gig at camp. We played at the Lyceum in London. Oh, excuse me.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Alright, we're talking about, Iggy gave you a call. He saw you. You played with him once.
No, he turned up backstage. We did some gig at the Lyceum. It was like a real kind of I was kind of thing. Nick Ronson was playing guitar with us, and
Yeah.
Ian McLain was on keyboards, and like it was just some kind of, it was stupid really. Everybody was drunk, and it must have sounded abysmal, but everybody was like kind of hanging out there, you know.
Yeah.
And he'd come backstage and I met him, and I never heard any more from him. And the British Kids had kind of decided to knock it on the head, and I was a bit fed up, wondering what I was doing. And the phone rang, and it was him, you know, asking me to come and do this too. So I said, yeah, all right, do it. And the band was different then. It had Scott Thurston in it, and a guy called Jackie Clark. You know the people who are on the New Values album?
Yeah, right.
But Jackie Clark could play bass on the album, and he was going to play guitar on the road because something needed like, you know, 2 guitars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed a bass player, so they found me out. And I did that tour, and that was kind of all right. We did like Europe and England and stuff. And then we come back and we recorded an album with Steve New from Rich Kids and Barry Andrews from XTC in Wales about 2 months ago. We've been on tour here for a month, and Steve and Barry couldn't do the tour, and then Ivan turned up, you know, Patti Smith band had kind of broken up and stuff, and he came and did it, and then Brian was hanging about, and Jim asked him to play guitar, and that's how the band got together. So real casual, like, you know.
Huh. So
it's a good band, you know. It's kind of happened to work. I mean, the last band we had was all right.
Yeah.
But some, you know, the chemistry of people don't work sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Just from the sound check, it looked like the chemistry was.
Yeah,
was
it's
there.
kind of fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun then.
Yeah. Is the Patti Smith group? Is Ivan still playing with?
I don't know. I think it's all in a. I don't think he really knows. It's all a bit in the air, you know. I mean, as far as I know, what I hear, she's going to have to have babies, you know, and stuff with Fred Sonic Smith. So, so I don't know when that means she's going to be back in the road again.
Yeah. So the drummer's from Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class
So,
Trigger.
where'd you find him?
I believe he was on a New Values album, you know, he was already playing with.
Oh, he was already on the other.
Yeah, I think he teamed up with Jimmy in Berlin, you know, because Jim lives in Iggy lives in Berlin.
Yeah.
And like he'd met him, class worked in this record shop or something.
Huh.
And they just started hanging out together. And Jim was looking for a drummer, and he said he played drums, so.
Yeah. I didn't think when I saw him drumming, you know, before he told me that it's not the Rich Kids drummer. That looked like the guy that I saw.
Rusty's kind of ginger and stuff. No, Rusty's running he's got a club in London.
Oh yeah?
Called Blitz. It's a couple of nights a week.
And
he's supposed to be opening up another one in New York, and it's getting real highfalutin. I think he's given up drumming.
Oh yeah? And Midge was
He's with Ultravox.
Ultravox?
Yeah. He did a tour with Lizzie.
Yeah, so now he's with Ultravox full time.
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, I don't really know what he's done yet. Some other band going as well called with Rusty and Visage.
Did you guys record anything more besides the
No,
album?
we was going to do it. We did that one album, and then we was going to go in to do a second album. But things were getting a bit, you know, on the brink kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That I decided that I didn't. Basically, what it was, Moose bought this kind of synthesizer, and he couldn't really play it. And it turned up one day, you know, rehearsal studios like that, you know, and he was sort of standing in the middle, kind of playing it and stuff, you know, without the band even deciding. And I said, well, no, I think it sucks. So either that goes or I go, right? And he goes, well, I quite like the synthesizer. I said, well, that's the end of the band then, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that was it. I couldn't be bothered anymore.
So he's playing synthesizer with Ultravox there?
Yeah, a bit of guitar and stuff, and you know, sort of jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. when I first saw you wandering around down there, it was pretty easy for me to figure out why you weren't a Sex Pistol past the first couple of singles.
Well,
just the general character didn't seem to be what I would picture as fitting in with Johnny.
I mean, yeah, right, sure, I agree with you. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right.
Well, anyway, there's not much point in hitting on that. Probably covered the old Pistol days enough through various interviews. You see this band as being like a full-time permanent unit?
Time being, there's talk of like, but the album's got to be finished off, and there's talk of an English tour and another American tour, and a big, start of the new year. But that's, it's all kind of in the air a bit. But people are, it's been good. It's when you're in a band that's happening, it makes you want to stay on. But I've got other stuff lined up as well. I've got my own songs and stuff. And we're trying to sort out, there's hassles with EMI in England over, rich kids' contracts and stuff, and we're just beginning to sort them out now. So as soon as that's out the way, I hope somebody's going to maybe come up with some money or something.
So
I have to do some of my own recording, and a couple of guys from Blondie, and
which one?
Clem Burke, and a guy from the Bay City Rollers, Eric Faulkner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've kind of been making overtures, I heard. So when the tour's over, we're probably going back to New York tomorrow, and I hope to get in touch with them and see what's happening there.
Yeah.
Maybe do something with them.
Did you
kind
just?
Of interesting to me, Yeah. And I did some gigs with Steve New. It was just like a kind of a bar band kind of thing in England called a Jimmy Norton Explosion.
Yeah.
And they had Danny Custer, him from Tom Robinson Band, the guitarist.
Right. Yeah.
He was really good, and Steve New played. And then a guy called Budgie, who was the drummer with the Slits. On that album. Have you heard the Slits album?
I've only heard a couple of cuts.
Yeah, well, he's on that, and he's playing with Susan Banshee, and we just got that together. But that was kind of fun. I kind of just like doing things that are a bit more lucid now.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a band and you set up and you sign lots of contracts and...
You get married.
Yeah, it's a bit like going to work,
Yeah.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah, I was just, I was gonna ask about, like you write songs and Ivan probably writes and Brian probably writes. I was wondering how that was going to fit in with the Iggy format.
Well, on the, Jim writes like a lot of music as well, but he's open to like a good song. And like on this new album, I kind of like co-wrote 3 with him, the one that's forthcoming. And another one, he just did it, straight with the lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
Which I was quite sort of pleased with, really.
All right.
Yeah, so, the album's going to be called Soldier or something. But when it's going to be out, it's hard to know. It's a record company kind of. It takes so long to make a record,
Where are you recording it?
Well, it's been recorded in Rockfield in Wales. It's all recorded, it's just got to be mixed. It's going to be done somewhere in New York, a record plant or somewhere.
So all the tracks are down?
Yeah. We're doing about 4 or 5 tonight.
All right. Is it similar to the Iggy's last 3 albums?
It's between, I would say it's a bit between the first one, between the last one and the one before that. It's like, it's
that fits in well with
it's more rock and roll
progression.
It's like more rock and roll version of the last album, but the lyrics are similar kind of things, because he's getting kind of quite, how would you say, I don't know, they're kind of little caricatures and stuff like that, they're quite funny lyrics in a way, like tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, they're along that kind of line, But the music's more rock and roll.
I was reading a couple of recent interviews with the Dan when they were here. And they painted a rather bleak picture of Brian James. Is he hard to get along with?
No, he seems fine to me.
Yeah, he looked like he was fine.
Yeah, right.
I expected to see an A1 flaming red asshole,
No, what it is when, when a band splits up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot of tension, and then, people are like, they kind of talk behind people's back,
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare say anything when they're in the room, But when they're gone over fucking character, who do you think it is?
Yeah, right.
Especially Scabies is a bit of a big girl when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm doing it now as well. But I mean, I like him. I think he's a great drummer. We did a gig with him with Sid and Steve Neal, and Scabies played drums.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I really like him. He's a great drummer, and he's really funny. But his mouth really, you know, it gets the better of him sometimes.
Yeah, it just starts running off.
Yeah, I think you've got to take things what he says with a bit of pinch of salt, you know.
Yeah. What else was I going to ask you? Okay. How'd you like Ronson's production on the Rich Kids album?
As I was saying, I like kind of half of it. And,
is that mainly due to the production or the material?
I don't know actually. I can never. It's hard to decide what is what.
Would you have done things differently now? If you had the
What I would have done, I would have used a better studio. And I mean, we had a lot of trouble with like the studio we used and the engineer and stuff. And we did the album in like bits and pieces because we was on tour at the time. So we went in and recorded like 3 tracks and then put down some backing ones from other ones, and it was like done over a period of like 2.5, 3 months, but not solidly. We was on the road as well in those times, and we'd never really played much together before, you know, with Midge and stuff, and we'd only done like half a dozen, 10 gigs or so before we got the deal. It was like, you know, because it was all done on the basis of, you know, the deal was done on the basis of demos and stuff like that, you know, who was in the band and all that kind of crap.
Right.
And so anyway, we signed up and we were straight in to do this album. And so the first one sounded like Rich Kids and stuff. And at the end of it, we was doing stuff like kind of Ghosts and, you know, Strange One, which are the ones I really like. You know, I like the sound of those a bit more. But because it was done in bits and pieces, you know, and we took time to get it together, it's a bit disjointed, you know. So I would have done it all in one go, you know, in one fell swoop.
Right.
Next time. Like use somewhere like Wessex Studios or something. Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know, there's things you learn in. I mean, you got to make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah. You took quite a beating at first with the Rich Kids coming out of the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of stupid. You know, they got all this big press in England, right, by people who've never even seen us, and I thought, oh, here we go. Yeah. You know, and sure enough, like a couple of months later, the same people were going, oh, don't get much in them. And yet they was the ones who kind of built us all up, you know. And I mean, we didn't want it, we just wanted to go out and play and get on with it.
Yeah.
You know, and when things like that happen, it kind of gets on your backs a little bit, and you know, you rack it, you blame everybody else by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of too bad that the band couldn't hold together, being that you'd gone through the flack and established yourself, and then kaput.
Yeah, but then, you know, I don't see, I mean, some of these
it's not the end of the world, but...
No, some of these bands that stick together for years and years, you know, like Status Quo, I can't imagine how they could do it, you know, because I get really fed up with people after a bit. You know, and it's time to move on. I mean, they must be a bit, kind of, what's the word, dullards? You know that? You know the word dullards?
I have a feeling I'm going to have a hell of a time transcribing this thing. You know, on top of your accent, you throw in all these words, I have no idea what they are.
I think dullards is kind of somebody who accepts less than what they could get.
Oh.
You know, it's like, who take second best all the time, I don't really strive for anything. You know, so people who are in the same band, you know, year after year, it's kind of like, you know, by playing with different people, you get different ideas and stuff, you know, and it kind of inspires you.
Right.
But if it's just the same old grind all the time, you just turn out the same old grind kind of music.
Limits yourself.
Yeah. So, you know, so bands breaking up doesn't really bother me, you know. As long as you get the price of a pint of beer. And
yeah. Would you like to put out a solo album?
Yeah, I'd love to. Not Glen Matlock kind of thing, but that's why I'd want to see these guys.
Glen Matlock and Friends?
No, I wouldn't really like to be like, you know, the solo guy, but I would like to do an album with like my songs with, you know, in some kind of setting, you know, with different people. So it wouldn't just be, you know, all on my shoulders. I wouldn't like that. It's a bit too highfalutin for me. But where I had quite a good deal of control over it, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm working on, you know, other than the Iggy Pop thing at the moment, that's what I'm working on. So I'm just trying to sort that one out in my mind, you know, deciding what I want to do. So when it's here, my contract's through, I can go ahead and do it.
So how long have you been playing bass?
years now. Just getting on.
Yeah.
I was about 15 I started, 15 or 16. I'm 23 now, so what's that? About 7 years.
23?
Yeah.
You make me feel like an old man. I'm just 24. Oh.
Fuck.
Okay. Well, it's good to have some good experiences behind you at a young age.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It'll be quite a while
It's funny,
before
it
you're an
seems
old
funny though,
man.
in England though, it seems that people start to play earlier, you know, that like kids kind of finish school earlier and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, get into bands.
All the people.
I mean, when I met like people like Richard Hell and Jerry Nolan and people like that, and when I met them, I never realised, I mean, they're all kind of pushing 30, you know.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, they've only really been in it as long as, well, I have, it seems.
Yeah.
But they must have started that much later, you know.
Was the Pistols your first solid band? A real
It was
band
like my
effort?
first band, really, other than playing in my bedroom, you know.
Yeah. How was it that came together originally?
I was working in Malcolm McLaren's shop, and Stephen Paul used to come
That
to
you
the shop,
pieced
and they
it
had
together?
Yeah, well, no, we kind of just like chatted, and they had a bass player who was married, and he never turned up to rehearsals and stuff.
Hmm.
And I was just talking to him and stuff like bass. Yeah. It was just kind of like circumstance.
Hmm. You were the main writer originally.
Well, I don't know, maybe I was, maybe. Some people say that, some people say that. I mean, I co-wrote quite a few, you know, the first 3 singles and stuff, and some other stuff that, I mean, they haven't really written that many more songs. But I don't really know that that matters much.
You write quickly, or do songs take quite a while to
Well, once you
materialize?
get a good idea for one, it's quick, but... I mean,
They're far apart from each other.
I mean, a lot of people turn out lots. I mean, I think like people like the Clash, you know, like Big James and stuff. They really turn out loads and loads of songs, but they're kind of all right, but they're never particularly great in my mind. And I'd rather keep all the all right ideas in my head, and then piece it together for like a really great kind of song, you know. So I mean, I don't know whether it does come. I mean, I like to think that it works better that.
One song
way.
that you're completely satisfied with is the 6 that are mediocre.
Yeah, or 2 or 3, you know, that are kind of all right.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe, you know, and it slows things down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it is really something, if you can put together a song that is going to last, like 5 years from now, that people are still playing.
Yeah, but then some people do write songs really that quick, you know, that do last 5 years.
Yeah. But
you know, like some of the Kinks songs, I mean, I wonder how long it took him to write All Day and All of the Night, you know.
I don't know. He was Ray's an amazingly fast writer. He takes it more as an assignment. He gets up at a certain time and starts writing. You know, at 11 o'clock he's at the piano and he goes at it and takes a break at a certain time and goes back.
Yeah, and that's another thing as well. I mean, if you get like the pressure on from a record company, then you got to have so many songs by such and such a date to get your album finished. I mean, then you have to work like that, but because like I've been leaving bands and not, you know, and then breaking up and having trouble with like these deals and stuff, you don't really get that kind of pressure, so you can be a bit more at your own leisure, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good when you've got the heat on as well. Just need a bit of both worlds to do.
I think that might hurt you at some point, like with a record company. You got these songs recorded, and you want to put out an album. And they look at your track record and figure, well, he's only going to be with this unit for a year. You know,
well, I don't
why
know.
bother?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, but I think record companies in England anyway are getting a bit hipper now, you know, and they're doing...
Yeah, it's a whole other story over there.
Yeah, they're doing more kind of like...
Here they look for something that they know that they're going to be able to make money off of for the next 7-8 years.
Yeah, right, but in England, I mean, you can get that kind of deal, and you can get one that's just a one-off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people will just do it now, well, the smaller companies will do it now just... If they can see that they're not going to lose out on it, they'll do it a bit more for the interest. Kind of like, you know, plus keeping their fingers crossed that it will take off as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of easier, I think.
So what kind of records you listen to at your place?
Oh, I've just been listening to all this kind of Mexican stuff. It's been freaking me out. And I don't really listen to that many records at home. I go and eat like in Greek restaurants and stuff. Listen to bouzouki music and in the Indian restaurant they have the Indian stuff.
It is.
But it's good though because they have kind of electric bands, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like electric Greek music. And it's kind of really pretty rock and roll.
There's a place down in Mission Valley that has Greek and it's a belly dance joint. It's pretty nice. Their music there is really incredible. And the dancers are...
Yeah, cool. It was funny, we went, Iggy's girlfriend, we was rehearsing in the summer. We went to this kind of Arabian Greek restaurant, you know, with like a belly dancer and stuff, and they had this band on entertaining us. And like Bowie was there as well, because he's like a friend of Iggy's and stuff, and there's a big crowd, and these guys like were playing away. But they recognised, you know, because Bowie was there, they recognised we must be kind of musicians or something. And right in the middle of this real kind of like, because they're really complicated rhythms and stuff, but right in the middle of like this belly dancers part, the band stepped into Sunshine in Your Love, like kind of like 16 bars. It was really funny, it was great. You know, and then they just went back into this complicated kind of thing.
Alright.
And they did it so, and they had all cheap guitars and stuff, you know, it was like, you know, like $50 kind of guitar and all that kind of stuff. Great, it was really funny. But they was really good at it though, you know, and they were so good that they could just do it real casual, like, no big deal. I mean, you see a rock and roll band, it's like everything's really rehearsed and all that. You know, nobody really deviates much from their thing. But all these people who play in restaurants are really good, but it's no big deal to them. It's just like, you know, and they swap instruments. It's great.
But
it's more fun.
What do you really listen to?
Well, that's what I do listen to.
Give me some band names, some rock and roll.
Shit, I like the Undertones. They're good band for me. I like some Devo stuff. I like that Secret Agent Man they did. I don't know. I mean,
not necessarily new. You know, I
like a lot of Kink stuff, you know.
Big Kinks fan.
Yeah. Well, early stuff, you know, the Trogs, kind of early English punk band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, stuff like that, you know, real simple. Question Rock, the Mysterians, that kind of sound. Sound Shan.
Yeah.
All those things. But I don't really listen to much. I mean, you kind of hear it and you know it, what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's always there. But as I say, you know, I really do listen to all this kind of restaurant kind of music. I think I'd be a restaurateur when I grow up. Restaurateur. Is that the word?
Yeah, I think it is.
Innkeeper. So yeah, there's a band down there. It's just Bobby Darin show, I think.
Looks good. Accordion.
Yeah, saxophone, bass.
A friend of mine's always wanted to start a band with an accordion and a tuba player. And a Japanese saxophone player.
That's good.
So what's your impression of the U.S. this first time you've been here?
Yeah, some of it I like. The Midwest was a bit kind of harrowing.
What is
Not
that?
harrowing, but it's just a bit boring, you know, the size of it. And all the McDonald's and
Pretty
stuff like
awesome.
that.
Yeah, there's just nothing really there.
It's like one big hamburger, you know.
Yeah.
But down this, the West Coast, I quite like it.
You just finished playing in San Francisco?
No, we did San Francisco about a week or so ago. And we did LA, did 3 days in LA. And we was Phoenix last night and Tucson the night before that. No, this is like, well, this was going to be the last day of the tour, but because we did well in New York, they put a couple more in.
You did 5 nights at the old Waldorf?
Where's that?
San Francisco?
No, we did 4 nights there.
4 nights? How'd it go?
It was good. It's all 4 houses.
Good.
Yeah, those were good gigs as well.
Yeah.
I think one was live on the radio, so.
It's nice. I thought it was good that it chose to play a smaller place 4 nights instead of a big place 1 night.
Yeah, it's better to, you know, it's a better gig really that way. I mean, it doesn't make so much economic sense, but it makes, well, it does in the long run, because like if you do like 4 better gigs, you know, people like you for it and they'll come back again next time. If you do a gig that's alright in a big place that nobody can really see, you know, the sound ain't so great, and you know, the atmosphere isn't quite it's good. Maybe they won't come back next time.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a give and take, really.
I think I've just about run out of anything to ask here.
Oh, that's cool. I'm getting thirsty anyway.
Okay. I guess that'll be